technically have a clip, but it's not exactly I count it as a win in my
It's
eyes.
Just bear with me 1 second, guys. Let's just go
yeah, we're just
live.
we brought up
See?
losing clips.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything.
All right, welcome, guys. So we're on to episode 9 of On the Hook. So today we have some guests on. We've got Kirk, Spirit Upgrades. You're going to introduce yourself in a minute first, Spirit, and TDS Darth Wage, who comes on from last week. So Spirit Upgrades, welcome to the show. So do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, please, Spirit?
Hello. So,
Hi.
oh, sorry, you go.
No, I
No,
didn't
we were
say
asking
nothing.
you to
Yeah.
go first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I cut you off.
No,
Sorry.
no.
I'm
No.
a Dead by Daylight content creator, well, streamer. I have at least, let's see, 120 hours, 3,300 hours into the game.
Wow.
I main Wraith. I main Wraith, Pyramid Head, and Bubba.
Right. Okay. How many hours did you say again?
3,300. Actually, make that 340.
Right. So, bit of experience then.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your overall thoughts on the game? How are you finding it?
I enjoy the game and enjoy the characters, the gameplay itself, but just can't really get used to those bugs.
Right. Okie doke. So,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
We all know. We all know those bugs.
Yeah. All right. And what I'll do, Spirit, I didn't realize you were a streamer, but I will put your your details in description. So make sure. Do you stream on Twitch?
Yes.
Yeah. Okie doke. So I will put all them details on there for you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. So, what the format is today, guys, it is going to be a case of we've got 2 videos, so you can see the screen's looking a little bit different than what it usually does. So, we're going to have 2 killer gameplay videos. One of them is myself, one of them is Kirk, and we're just going to analyze it because we're looking overall, and I did describe this at some points during the podcast, is that we're looking really to see. We hear the term that the game's unbalanced quite often, and sometimes when I see the videos and I see people saying it's unbalanced, sometimes it's very easy to identify, not when you're playing yourself, but when other people are watching, mistakes that actually cost the game rather than the game being unbalanced. So we just wanted to have a look and see if we can do that in 2 games that we've done. So as I say, one of them's myself, one of them will be Kirk. So, and we'll just see, and feel free on chat if you've got any opinions yourself to obviously put it in the chat and let us know what you think. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. So, Kirk, do you want to take it away first, and we'll.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been on the podcast twice already. So I'm sure I mentioned it, but I'm a Blight main. I also play a lot of Spirit. I play a lot of Spirit. What the hell am I talking about? I play a lot of Wraith. I play not Spirit, Wraith. And I play a lot of I play a decent amount of Bubba, and my third I'd probably say is Oni. Bubba being my fourth actually.
Yeah.
I have a game today from Swamp, which already isn't one of Blight's strongest maps. In addition, I am not running speed add-ons, something that, I live and die by is the yellow rat add-on for Blight. I'm not really always playing at my best if I don't have that, but I put myself out of my comfort zone, and unluckily for me, I also got a really bad map for myself, so this is the result of me being out of my comfort zone. I do have some commentary in this video. I'm gonna make the volume as quiet as I can because this was my warm-up game too because I wanted to maximize the chances of me losing naturally, and I get quite angry at some points. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and keep that a little bit quiet. But
Fair enough.
I just started sharing the screen. If you guys wanna
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it
Yeah,
now.
have a look.
jump in. So already, before I even play the clip, this is a terrible spawn for me. So this is like some bad luck that's tying into my loss too. Spawning on this dock is probably the worst possible spawn you could have as Blight because you want survivors to do the gens that are up on platforms before they do any other generators. So starting here is like just a recipe for disaster. So
Yeah.
I'm running a meta build, but my
Can we
add-ons
have a look
are
at your build? Can you pause it a second?
yeah, no
Okay,
problem. This
so
is the best build on Blight right now.
yeah, so you've got Tinkerer, Pop Goes the Weasel, Ruin. Do you? And I've seen this quite often. I'm just asking the question for myself. Really, does Pop really work when you have Ruin? Is it sort of like
It's
just to have as a
incredible.
backup?
It's the best backup you can have.
Right.
A
It
lot of
pretty much
times you'll
is.
run, yeah, if you have Ruin up and it lasts, 2 minutes or whatever, you don't even need pop. But if you run Ruin and it goes out in the first 30 seconds, you need pop. And if you just run pop, your early game pressure is garbage because you don't have anybody hooked yet.
Yeah.
So it really just covers all your bases.
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful. It's a little scummy, but sometimes I'll run this and I'll just turn my brain off and play, chill because these two perks alleviate so much pressure from playing Blight, and specifically Blight too. Like it only really alleviates pressure from killers who have mobility,
Yeah.
and that's all Blight has. So two very powerful perks on him. And
Yeah.
Barbecue and Tinkerer, they're no brainers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't play Blight without Tinkerer, but
Fair enough.
anyway.
Okay, then.
And when you get those unlucky tech spawns,
Yeah, so I spawn on top of the dock. They all spawn separate from each other around the map. My first chase is horrendous, but I'm actually one of my weakest things that I can't play anymore is a shack because at the point there is right now there are like three different shacks in the game because of map reworks and everything. So some shacks have collisions, some don't. This is old shack, so it has too much collision. Like I was trying to bounce off the barrels there, and I
Yeah.
bounced off the doorway, so I missed that. I come around this side. I try and go like this, and I try and go for a flick, but I just hit the wall. So I'm like, okay, I'll bounce off this wall. But then I'm like, oh, I just saw her aura on the other side, so let me try and go around. But I'm so slow with no speed add-ons, so all my muscle memory is just messed up. So I'm like, okay, I'll abandon her.
Yeah.
And then I see this girl, and this doesn't go well for me either. So I'm like, okay, I'll bounce off this tree. Whoop! I slide right off of it.
Right.
I come around this
mm,
way. I expected her to go through the window. She didn't go through the window, so I bounce off it. That time, that tree counts for some reason. And then I try and do a flick there, and it doesn't even. She already knew, so she committed. So I go around this side, think she's gonna go back to the dock, but nope, she's stuck to the loop. So it's just mistake after mistake after mistake here, and I should have known better. I've played on Swamp before. I know what trees are bounceable and what aren't usually, and I still went for like something greedy like that. I could have just M1 mind game that thing that whole time. I try and slide off this wall, I fuck that up, but then I go around this corner and I get her here.
Yeah. So
But
that was
as
a
you can
good
see in the
hit.
bottom
Yeah.
right, so
Tinkerer's
Tinkerer
gone.
just procced
Mm.
right there on a ground gen. That is close enough to me. I could have gone for that, and I should have gone for that. I still had Ruin up, so I could have gone for that, pressured them off that gen, and secured one of like the best gens in the map to defend. But I was greedy, so I was like, "Oh, I need this hook. I need this hook." I didn't need this hook. I had Ruin up still. If Ruin was gone, then I needed the pop. But that gen over there on my left is about to pop too, but I'm ignoring that one. And I come in for this. I missed this bounce, but that was my fault. That wasn't the map. And that gen in the shack pop. I managed to stop this one with that one over there. I could have
Well, it
stopped
looked more like you. Well, it looked more like you slid off the box.
No, I barely touched
no,
it.
he didn't hit it.
I barely touched it. And the new collision for Blight, it used to be you could hit it with like the edge of your screen and it would still count as a bounce. But nowadays you have to be right on stuff, which is it's better in some situations, worse than others. It helps you slip in between cracks. You know what I mean? If you're trying to make a tight, dash. Like when you're playing Billy and you're trying to like snake in between trees and stuff without crashing, but you can like barely nudge the trees without actually hitting them fully. That's basically what you can do with Blight
Yeah.
too, without actually triggering a bounce.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you used to not even be able to do that. So in some ways it was a buff, some ways it was a nerf that changed to his collision. But I thought she was gonna go around for this pallet. She didn't even go for it. She just went for the save. So I'm wasting all these bounces. Then I try and snake in between these. Boom, that counted as a hit. So I lost that.
Mm. Pretty much a 50-50 what you can actually hit or not. Sometimes you even don't hit at all. Or,
It's only a 50-50 if I mess it up, though. Like a lot of, Blade has a lot of control over a map, and I need to be able to capitalize on mistakes. Like right here, I said to myself, she's dead. So I went through here, I hit this tree, I hit this rock, and she already had the window there. I didn't pay attention earlier. I didn't know the window was there. So I tried to snake in between here. But that's when right before I hit this, I'll show you. So not here,
mm,
but I come through this doorway here, and I'm like, So if I hadn't hit that, I would have been against those lockers, and I would have been able to go for a dash and hit her with a flick. But I hit the wrong pole, so now I try and go through here. But that's when I realized I have 0 dashes left. I was gonna bounce off that thing right in front of me and then go for the hit, but I'm out of tokens. So I had to go for the swing here, but I knew it wasn't gonna hit. I just swung for distance. So now she gets even more distance on me. And I'm still chasing her here. I don't even know why I'm chasing her here. I don't even want this gen.
Can
Can
I
you?
ask a
Here.
legit question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
course.
Go on,
No
Spirit.
problem.
Perk. The perk. What's that perk? The one with the cooldowns on missed attacks. Does that count to your attack, or is that just your power? Because I know that it doesn't work for pig's dashes.
It doesn't work for anything except basic attacks. You're
Okay,
talking about
so
unrelenting.
powers in just pretty much any power. Well, hold on. What about Death Slingers? Because technically, he doesn't use his attack as a power.
No, when if you pull somebody in and then swing, it won't and you miss, uh, it will activate on
Okay.
unrelenting. But the thing is, a lot of times if you're pulling somebody in with Death Slinger and you're swinging where you're not going to hit them, most of the time you have them pulled up against a wall, and if you use unrelenting and you hit a wall, nothing happens. Like if
I was just
you don't get the reduced cooldown. It's only when you hit air. It doesn't count when you hit an object. So yeah, people say it's good on Death Slinger. I don't think it's good on Death Slinger.
Can I ask
I
you
was
a
just
question?
curious.
Go on, Spirit. Sorry, that was me interrupting. Go on.
No. I said I was just curious.
Yeah, fair enough. With the just something that I'm just writing stuff down while I'm watching this. So if I'm quiet, I've probably got a lot of questions. But
You're good.
if so, you said you were happy to let go of a few gens. Did you, in your mind, because this is something I don't see happening. I know you're probably going to answer this yes, because you've got so many hours in the game. But do you have in mind which gens at the beginning you're happy to lose?
Platform gens, 100%. Anything that's on an elevation where I can't run directly to it, and that applies to any map, not just this map.
Yeah.
If especially it's Blight, oh my God. If you can secure, like, okay, Hawkins as Blight, people think Hawkins is a weak map for Blight. It is not a weak map for Blight. The whole map is straightaways. Oh my God, it's just because it's indoors doesn't mean it's bad. The only bad indoor map for Blight is Lee Rise, and even that one you can still like stick up for yourself. It's not like the
Larry.
worst thing ever. What did I just say?
You
Did I
said
say Lee Rise?
Leroy's. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I got that from my friend. He used to always say Leroy's, and then I would say Larry's, and then I just ended up mixing them into Lee Rise. So I don't know, but I just didn't say that now.
Yeah. The reason why I asked that
But
question is because normally I haven't had a chance to look, but when the game starts, you let the gen go at the side of Shaq, and I'm thinking, was that the potential 3 gen that you could have possibly
I don't
saved?
even.
But yeah,
So as some killers, 100%, it's good to preserve a 3 gen. Anytime I play like Bubba or sometimes even Wraith, depends. It's good to go for those 3 gens. As Blight, every gen is a 3 gen.
it's a 3 gen.
I mean,
Right.
you can get
Yeah.
across the map in like 5 goddamn seconds. Um, that's why it's one of my favorite characters to play. Is because the game revolves around me and my ability to in the chase, my ability to pressure survivors and everything, and bounce off certain things of the map and narrowly scrape in between things. It's super
Yeah.
high intensity gameplay. It's why I love it, and a lot of that is strategic, but it's not mostly strategic like a lot of other killers are.
Yeah. Okay, doke.
So
That's fine.
yeah, any gen is a 3 gen as long as the gens are on the ground. But you'll see, I throw this game. Like I do not play it right at all. So I thought she was gonna drop off that ledge there. Here, I'll go back. Because this is a free mind game as killer, and I still mess it up. So I'm like that. I'm like this. I go for the swing. I miss it. You can hear me screaming. And then I go for that because I thought she was going to jump off the ledge. So when she went back over the pallet, that caught me off guard. So I went for the swing just out of panic, and of course I missed it. I was already retreating the swing before I finished it. I thought she was going to go for the pallet. I got tricked, and then she dropped down the hole. And I went for the swing, but she was already down the hole. I'm not going back down there again. So I abandoned the chase.
Yeah.
So that's what, like 2 abandoned chases so far, and 1 caught. So this is just terrible for me. I hit the pallet there. And then she's going to the god basement too, and I'm like, ugh, fine, if they're all gonna run down here. This add-on's saving me, this one that lets me see people. I got stuck on the wall there, that was not my fault. I hit the wall, then it also let me continue with the swing, and I lost all my momentum. But then I got the hit right after, so it doesn't matter. That Claudette confused the shit out of me. I didn't realize she was still down here. So I know she's here waiting for the save. So I just get her really quick. And she's so bad, she
Tinker's
just
gone
like
off
runs into a
again.
wall.
Yeah.
So this is, yeah. So Tinker is going off again. I have 2 people on the ground fresh. They're not at all recovered yet. And Ruin is still up, and I still insist on hooking these 2. Even though I don't even know what I'm doing at this point.
Yeah, I think it was panic, and you were just trying to,
Oh, for sure.
considering how much time has went by, you're like, well, I'm gonna get some hooks at least.
Yeah. And I thought getting 2 hooks next to each other will get me pressure. Watch,
Yeah.
like 2 seconds, this girl gets saved because they know that'll get. They already got her because they know that I was about to get pressure and they needed to take that from me.
Yeah.
This boat was too low down. I forgot it was
for
there,
them
so I
to
bounced into it.
for them to get to the hook that fast, at least one of them had to be communicating with somebody.
Yeah. Maybe.
Definitely.
Or they have experience. I mean, this team was decent. You'll see they do some pretty good jukes at some points. It could be both, though. It's hard to tell sometimes because good players, people mistake good players for SWFs a lot, and these guys just like they're playing well.
That's why I always check their
Jump
names
through
and
that
check the names
window.
to see if they're friends with them. If they're not, then I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I do a thing here, but she turns around in dead hards, so she gets, she just it's a free juke. I'm like, this stupid fucking perk. I'm crying like a bitch. Come around this way, and I think I get her. No, she went in the locker, and I didn't see her. Check this out. I can't believe I missed
Yeah,
this.
I saw it. She went into the. She must have clicked
Because
quiet.
no, she went in slowly, and I still missed it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
garbage. I'm garbage. But no, yeah, she went right into
Oh.
that, and I didn't see. And then I saw her jump out there, and I was like, oh, she went in the locker, and I didn't bounce off that wall. I just slid, so I was like, fuck this. 3 abandoned chases, baby. This is a good game. Come on, man. I'm Blight.
That Orion, though, is not helping very much.
I'm like, no one's over here. I instantly know. And this is a platform gen, but it's one of my last 4 gens, so I'm like, I might as well defend it, but this pallet was in the way. I had to break it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll just go up the stairs. But all 3 of them were here. So, like, okay, now's the time for me to get pressure. So I'm waiting for my power to come back, and for some reason here, I don't use my power. I'm just panicking so hard at this point. I don't know what to do. I go for a really greedy flick. For no reason, too. Let me see. Like, I probably could have bounced off those barrels behind her. Easily. Easily, I could have bounced off those barrels behind her. I went for the greediest flick of my life. Missed. I'm like, oh my god. I just say, dude,
Oh, wow.
that would have hit me like every single time if I was playing Survivor.
Oh, you got her. You got her in the end.
Yeah. That was my fault, though. I mean, I was playing with the assumption that I would get like a free hit from Gillicade servers, so that was stupid of me. My Ruin is still up and I'm losing, dude. Oh my god, embarrassing. And this Claudette's like a dumpster. She's just like crouching in random places. I'm like, she's the weak one. I have to tunnel her, and then I still don't tunnel her. Like I go after her and then I give up immediately for some reason. Yeah, like oh my god, I should have stuck to that.
Because you expect them to go back to the hook immediately.
I know,
Like
but
they just did.
it was still greedy of me though. Like
It is true. It's either damn if you do, damn if you don't at this moment.
I said, are you kidding me?
Even I believe that hit. I thought pallets. I thought pallets. Yeah. I thought pallets.
Yes,
were
we all
bombed.
definitely have
Listen, listen.
our moments in the heat of a
Yeah.
match.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, feels bad, man.
It's even funny listening to myself get angry though. It's the best. There you go. I got her there. And that Tinkerer just went off. I have now like my brain's like, okay, you have no choice but to pressure this
You've
gen
got to
now.
go. You've got to go.
Yeah, I it doesn't bounce off that rock, but I get this. Oh, my camera jerks off here, and it makes me go, and I look up and down. It just does that on its own because it thought my rush was over, but then I reset it, so I lost track of her. I just lunged for distance there. I knew I wasn't gonna make it. I could have probably made that better though. I probably could have bounced off the building. This is a free mind game.
Yeah.
Jay, I heard some weird static in the background.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, same.
Just letting him know. Ooh.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
That still wasn't a bad play right there, though. I
I
mean, you
know. I'm
got
just
a quick pallet break.
this game's all about like the early game, and I just threw away the early game.
Yeah.
So they're all. So I'm thinking to myself, they're all grouping up on a gen right now. But I guarantee you, they're thinking to themselves, like, "Oh, he's gonna be panicking right now because he thinks we're all doing a gen." So they played me like a fiddle here. They probably have one guy on that gen all the way over there at that dock. I forget exactly how this game ends. So this is. No, I'm not. I haven't watched up to this far yet. I forget it. I know I lose, but so right now I'm losing a mind game around like nothing. I get a hit there.
Well, you do have Tinker. You would have like a early warning that they're gonna get the gin in time.
There's a reason I didn't get it though. Oh, by the way, there was a Cheryl on that totem earlier that I didn't notice. I could go back and play it if you want.
That thing was it the totem that not the lit totem, but the other one.
No, yeah, the lit totem. You heard me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Like, I know
I
you were mad.
I knew that was gonna happen. The gen in the way. It always is the gen of the way.
Oh,
No! My God, that should have fucking hit in every conceivable reality.
I had a meaty shot with Deathslinger, and I shoot right where they were, but the gen blocked them. I'm like, fuck me.
I opened the locker, then I was trying to vault the window. It's just like my brain is just like deactivating right now. I'm so angry. Like,
And that happens as well. That happens as well, doesn't it? A lot of people do it. And
tilt?
You get
Oh,
tilted,
no.
and that's it. You know, you go for shots that just aren't there. You go for, survivors. That's why I don't really mind it when survivors teabag and click the flashlight, because I think that's a strategy. You know, as annoying as it is,
yeah, tilting the killer
to do it
is,
to
like,
tilt the
genuinely
killer.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
psychological
I don't
thing.
know.
It is.
I don't know. It
truly
kind of works in the
psychological.
opposite for me. I don't know.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like
nowadays-
it's in the complete opposite for me because like
playtime
whenever
just
I'm playing
isn't allowed.
calm, because whenever I'm playing calm and everything like that, it's like I don't play right. Whenever I get mad, I start going into
Right.
super focus.
Ah, interesting.
I don't know why.
Everyone
It
will be different,
depends.
I suppose. Yeah.
I think if I'm
Yeah.
definitely one of the people that like when I keep my cool, I mean, I'm not gonna say like I'm unstoppable as Blight, but like I can do a lot of destruction, and then I get really tilted. If I get tilted, I lose. So I try and vault here, do the normal M1 killer mind game. I think I assumed she had dead hard there, so I just went for the and it ended up working because the window closed there anyway, and she tried to back up and go back and do it again. I go for this gen. All three of them are here. This is the worst fuck up. This throws the game. So right here I hit her, and then I see Claudette. So I hit her too, and I'm like, okay, that's everybody. There's another girl on the other side of the gen I don't see,
Right, yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I get that flick there, get her. So I have two people in the dying state. I should have gone back to the other girl. I
can I
should not have
just
picked
say-
up Claudette.
Yeah, you shouldn't have picked her up. You should have immediately went for the one back at the shack because
course.
they would have recovered.
At this point, I already knew that all of
But-
them were good except Claudette.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I should have anticipated they were going to pick up the other
I'd
girl.
rather.
I mean,
leave Claudette
in the
because she
situation
was
from-
No, you go.
In the situation from what I see right here, no matter what you did, even if you went over to the gate, that these were more experienced players. They were going to get somebody off of the ground no matter what you did. So,
Mm.
I mean,
Except-
there wasn't no
definitely-
bad. I mean, it wasn't really a bad choice in my opinion because you were trying to hurry up and at least get one. I mean, I could understand going for one, but going for two hooks, I think that would have been be a bad call. But there was no good choice in this one. Like you could go over there to get an injury without a one hit down perk or anything like that, and it's just going to lead to another chase while another survivor's picking the other two off of the ground. So at least getting one on the hook, at least you got a hook out of it.
It's true, but at this point in the game, I'm only at 5 hooks. So like hooks mean like nothing anymore. You know what I mean? Like I need to get
Yeah,
kills. And the guy on the ground over there is outside the shack and the window's closed. So even if I like ran back there really quick, the window probably wouldn't even be open yet for him. So I would be able to go back, stop them from picking him up. Because remember, he's recovered by now. This guy has not recovered yet. I just downed him. So, I mean, I don't know if any of them have We're Gonna Live Forever or Desperate Measures, whatever. So I guess I decide not to take that risk. So I go for the hook. They get her up instantly.
Exactly.
But I'm Blight. I don't know if I could have made that or not. I said I lost. I'm like talking about I lost. So I'm already like defeatist mentality and I'm tilted. I go
Yeah.
for this. She didn't leave the shack. She stayed at the shack. I did this flick into nothing.
The thing,
But she kept running.
the thing the thing that I have about this is as you said, it's an old kill shack. You know, it's the older one. So I'm like, this also is not your fault either. This is more of the developers not, putting in the new shacks for every map. Because it was actually the older map design that screwed you over the most.
Yeah, but a new shack design. The only reason new shack design doesn't screw me over is because it's really exploitable. Like, and the new, I mean, maybe I can show it sometime if I ever get a different clip some other time, but you can run into the side of shack without colliding with it. And if you plan your gameplay around that, you can run straight into the wall at shack and come in through the door very surprisingly. And survivors will not see you coming a lot of the times, but that's not intended design. Like, I'm sure they didn't intend for the entire wall of shack to be slippery. You know what I mean? I mean, I think they're both pretty badly
Right.
designed structures in general, but I
Mm.
also believe like I don't know, man. I made a lot of mistakes this game, and
That's
honestly,
yeah.
I think one of the biggest problems with it is that the mistakes that the devs make in making this game just get me even more tilted than like my own mistakes or whatever. But I have 4,000 hours. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't be letting myself get angry at things like this when I'm used to them. It just I don't know. There's a lot of factors. I definitely got cucked a few times
It's
this game, but there were a lot of times I just messed up bad. You know, I could have
I
tunneled the game
mean,
once
when
and
it
not been fine.
I mean, to me, that is one of the game's biggest issues is I would say map design. I've
Oh, for
seen
sure.
like
Mm.
That's
like
one thing
for
I wanted to talk to you
example,
about because you think gens are too fast. I just think maps are poorly designed. I think if every map was the size of Coal Tower, I think gens could stay the exact same duration they are now.
well, I mean, I know it's for a later discussion, but this
Rolling
is the way I see it.
flashbacks.
I'm just gonna throw in a quick one real quick. I really would not mind the map design if gens were slower, and I would not mind gen speeds if map design was better.
Yeah,
Put it
no, for
like
sure.
that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I agree.
Okay. But we will come to that at the end. So we just
Yeah,
Just
um,
finish
yeah. That's
this.
why I didn't
Finish
really
this
want to.
embarrassing.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to go into detail.
yeah, yeah, we'll definitely. 'Cause I know we had to cut short last week, but we'll definitely have the time today. So, right.
So I anticipate this Claudette to be bad. So I thought she was going to panic open the gate, but she doesn't. So now
Yeah.
the survivors are still not on a timer, and I'm going back to this save. I take the hit on the healthy one, I guess. I don't. I mean, I guess so she wouldn't body block later, and then I chase her. Like, Cheryl's right there at the dock. Oh, what am I doing? I go right back to Shack, and Shack pallet's still up. Yeah, I even say God pallet's still up.
Yeah.
I said it to myself.
Well, granted, though, you
Cheryl
don't
does a
know.
sick body block here. Yeah.
Oh, oh, you mean this Cheryl? I thought you meant the one that was on the hook earlier.
There's two. Yeah, yeah. The
There's two.
Cheryl in the white is at the dock right now. I could have killed her, and I went after the
But
Yui
she
for
could
no
have
reason.
VS though, because she just got recently on hook.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Sure. So Yui's just playing a game with me right now. She's just running around this TL wall. She just went around that corner. So I'm like, okay, she's there. So I'm gonna go this way as soon as she cuts line of sight. She didn't see it coming. Here I go for the dash because I saw Claudette going for the body block. She went for that, so I go for the pickup. So I was like, if I maybe I could defend a hook. And still nobody's dead yet. I literally two hooked everybody. I two hooked everybody. Yep.
Gotta love that hook counter.
Playing like
Just
fucking
Yeah,
Mother
standing
yeah.
Teresa. Yeah,
one
I
mid
honestly
left,
love
two
it.
hooks.
So here I do a nice flick. I go around the. Oh, that was awesome. Wait,
Mm.
let me stroke myself for a sec. I go around the left side like that. Oh, delicious.
Mm.
Yum yum
The
yum yum. And
rebound.
then, and she
That's a
goes for
nice
that.
rebound.
I can't. I thought she was gonna go for the gate for sure. So there's a box right here. Perfect. Get the free down. Made that
But you're
TL
putting
wall
up a
very
good fight in
playable.
this last bit. You're putting up a really good fight. You're not making it easy for them.
My brain definitely like gets a little bit better at the end here. Pointless flick. I could have just the wall was literally right there. Why did I go for a flick? There's the wall. Nope, I still had to do a flick.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb. Because I'm trying to
Gotta get.
conserve tokens. If I can conserve tokens, I can get back-to-back dashes and do a lot of damage. But I needed to like try and secure like 2 kills or something at this point. Not like I kept going for the 4K. I thought I was gonna bounce off that wall, then I would go back and hit Claudette. Nope. I could have picked up Claudette
Oh.
here. I could have picked her up, but I forgot it.
Yes, I
Oh.
saw it.
Oh
Yes,
my
that
god.
one
Here,
moment,
listen.
that one frame.
Guys, just
No, don't.
just when you turn this down again, Kirk. Has somebody got music on in the background? It's just I don't want to be picked up by YouTube. It might not be loud enough, but I can just sort of hear it. So
I mean, the audio's not. I mean, it's mostly just me talking over the gameplay. You know, like the audio is important, but there are some points where I'm really loud in this video, Jay.
no,
I mean,
no, sorry, I meant someone's playing music in the background of the podcast. So yeah, so I was just asking if it could turn that down. Yeah, I could hear some music coming in. Yeah.
Are you positive, Jay?
Yeah.
You want to check like your background programs? I don't hear anything.
It could be the game.
Oh, I don't know. I kept thinking I heard music. Right, okay, it might just be me.
Blight's got some loud music. It's like, you know, like a Rottweiler. It's not even music.
Or him gargling.
My first Blight game would just be an instant loss, especially if it didn't run speed add-ons. It'd be the perfect demonstration of this kind of thing. So I thought that the show went over here, she went through the gate. Of course she didn't. This map already sucks for Blight too, so if the survivors know what they're doing.
I don't like Swamp for all the killers, to be honest. I know you've just said there that.
I could have won this with a rat though. If I had a rat add-on.
This has its benefits on this map. I remember how this used to be a lot bigger. They actually shrunk these maps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to read them now.
You fought not Cold Tower. You fought freaking that Cold. What was it? Rotten Fields, I think. Was big. It was just as big. It's just all this extra trash around.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, this part. Here, watch this.
They're just healing so they can get the free.
Listen for Yui.
They're in that building or something. If I can find them before they're close to the gate, I might be able to do a 1-2 combo on them. Or they could just run right past me because sounds are really well made in this game.
He literally just ran past me on Swamp that has the squishiest footsteps in the entire game, and I still didn't hear her.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's me or not, but I'm replaying this clip right now. I do not hear a thing, and she was right next to me.
No, I didn't hear nothing either.
It's the end game sound that.
Or they could just run right past me.
That sound that you hear is the reason why, because that one takes priority over everything else, which is annoying.
She's up in that building.
Yeah, because you literally, especially on Midwich, you literally can't hear anything.
Well, you do.
Just go wait to the gate for some reason, just to run out. Like
you're waiting to look at me. You're not even teabagging, and you're not also not letting me hit. So why are you standing there?
I think maybe she was going for.
And then she got Hatch. Hatch was in that little building there.
Right.
So let's see their builds.
Is it me or do some people just magically know where the hatch is?
You can find it once it's like 1 or 0 gens left, and then people just wait at it until all their friends escape and just camp it. It happens.
That or the fact that, what is it? Like sometimes the game just gives it to them. I've seen like at least 3 times that the hatch just spawns right next to a survivor, even if they're on the hook.
Yeah.
Looking at the builds, you've got Prove Thyself. Have I just seen that somewhere? So
only one of them has a sweaty build.
Yeah, pretty much.
The third,
bottom's kind of sweaty.
The third bottom, he's got Resilience and Prove Thyself. Bottom guy has got Prove Thyself, but nothing really will make it on the top one. You know, that's probably.
But I
can tell based on their build that they know each other.
Do you think?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I can
think
tell.
If they knew each other, they'd all have borrowed time.
I can see.
Well, most of like two of them had borrowed time. 2 of them were meant for doing generators. 2 were for the chase.
Man, that purple med kit, man, that it took so much pressure off. Like every time I would try and like apply pressure to that one. I think that was the Claudette too. There were so many times. No, actually though, this game is my fault. There were like 2 or 3 different times where I had the opportunity to tunnel that Claudette and kill her, but instead I would hit her once and then leave her. But she had a perfect medkit, so she would just heal herself as soon as I left her alone. That was my fault. And I don't know, man. This whole thing with them grouping up to do gens or whatever, it would have been fine if I just pressured gens a little bit better instead of greeting for hooks every single time.
Did you
obviously the rank 3? if you look at the rank 3, you see prove thyself, right, with Bond. So that person obviously planned on getting to somebody as fast as possible, or at least having somebody in close proximity at all times. And if you look at the rank 1 at the bottom, he intended to stay injured with spine chill active. That's why he had Iron Will.
He had
With
Vault
that
Build.
combined with that prove thyself, that those were the two gen rush. That's why they got the least amount, and the two at the top, clearly you can tell that they were more made for the chase than the two at the bottom were.
That's honestly an okay observation. I won't even bust you on that. But I think at the beginning, at some point before the match even started, the Neva Fox guy wasn't actually with them, the console player, because I had 3 PC players in my lobby, and then one of them left, and then Neva Fox joined. So I think it's those 3, or if there is a group, I think they're the group. And then the Neva Fox guy was just a random guy because his build's not even that great for chasing. It's just like random. That looks like a solo build.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're asking me, like a solo build where you help your teammates a little bit. You know what I mean? Like if it was a real build, he'd be running like fucking dead hard, whatever. Medkits are definitely solo.
The one thing I could say about the console player is that for once they actually used self-care more strategically, because with self-care you have a 25% reduction on healing cost on your medkits. And with that medkit, oh god.
No, it's not that bad. Yeah, you get an extra quarter of.
Yeah. If he had an extra speed on his
I don't
medkit, oh, that would be worse.
I don't know. I just don't see the point in self-care at all.
It's garbage. Yeah, it's one of the worst parts in the game.
If you're solo queue,
but
the only thing I could see that, and I wouldn't.
You go.
I wouldn't even bring it in solo queue personally.
It's one of the worst perks in Dead by Daylight for sure. I completely agree. I didn't want to like just shit on you, Spirit. Like no, because you didn't say anything wrong. It does increase the medkit or whatever. But like that makes me think he's not part of the group even more. The fact that he's self-care. It's just such like
when you want to take body block kits, honestly, it's really good if you get all the healing perks with it, because it helps. It adds the charges with the add-ons. It adds more to it, which is...
Yeah, but I don't think this does anything, because this is, if you want to get, like, analytical, this is 32 charges to it. 25% of 32 is only 8, and then 8 wouldn't even be enough to get another full heal. 32 is 2 heals. So it's like, what, 2.5 heals? Why would you want 2.5 heals? They brought self-care because they thought self-care was good. You know what I mean? Like, this is, like, not a good play. And, like, there was that one point, she ran me around the dock at that one point. I don't even think she was mind gaming. I genuinely think she was just vaulting back and forth, and I thought she was doing it strategically. Like, look here, she's just spamming space.
Yeah.
I could have easily mind gamed her.
Yeah.
I've hit that 1,000 times. I thought she dropped. I was getting ready to go down with her.
And I go this way. This is the only time she plays all right. Every other part of the match, she plays like an actual like ranked 50. I don't get it. Like, I guess her older brother was playing or something here, and then like he got back on. Because there was that one point I hit him at the basement, and she just like scrambled. Like she like ran to the left, ran to the right, like then like ran into a wall and lost her entire speed boost.
Did you?
Yeah, Tinkerer. Yeah.
Then that could have been one of the. Because having Tinker with him is incredibly terrifying.
Oh, maybe it did surprise. Well, let me see. Let me see if Tinker does.
Tinkerer goes off now.
Tinker goes off. Maybe, but she heard me up until the last second before I heard her, so I don't think that was it. She just panicked.
Oh, they're smart.
That was a weird panic. But anyway, yeah, that's my game.
Yeah.
I do win, a decent bit of my games, but if I'm used to my characters that I play, and I think a lot of times, if you don't have a character you stick to, this is totally off topic, by the way, but I wanted to mention this really quick, Jay. Me and Captain Salty have been talking lately, and we've been talking about how people who play only a few killers with certain parameters and everything have a lot better experience than people who like play like every killer in the game.
Yeah.
Because if you put your time into mastering one character, that is like 10 times the weight of like being okay at like 15 characters. You know what I mean? But and I feel like like if you have Blight with speed add-ons and Blight without speed add-ons, it's like a completely different killer. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying Blight without speed add-ons is bad, but I'm saying that like I was just completely out of my comfort zone, and it doesn't matter if you have you can still make mistakes at 3,900 hours if you're playing something
Yeah.
you're not used to. Anyway,
Yeah.
whoever's next.
Okay. Well, let me just see how long my video is. 12 minutes.
I'm sorry I took too long there.
No, it's fine.
But-
Because what I'm thinking is, I do want to keep enough time. Let me play it because it's quite funny. Because these guys in the end gave me some stick as well for being a rank 1 killer. I'll put it on here so you guys can see it as well if you're on. And I'll just full screen that. Right. So this was Ironworks of Misery, and I am playing as Freddy. You'll notice my build's a bit different, so let me just quickly explain the build. The reason why I went with this build, guys, is just I found the pop slows me down. Sometimes I have to drop a chase just to make sure I get the pop. So I thought, let's think a bit outside the box. Let's see if I can use Surge for that reason. So I can get Surge, well, hit hopefully a few gens if they're within each other. Sloppy to slow them down. And then I've gone Tinkerer, got to have Tinkerer on him, and Discordance. So anyway, we'll play. So again, tell me when you want to stop, guys. This is the first time I'm watching this back as well. So,
I mean, give some of your own commentary too.
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
something that you do wrong.
so I
you
see
know,
the
I
scratch
talk- I
marks
was
straight
talking
away.
mostly.
I see the scratch marks and I see a Jake. I don't want him to go for Shaq, but I'm stopped there and there's Nia.
If you could, Jay, could you increase the quality of your stream to a 720? Mine's a little fuzzy. Is it fuzzy for anyone else?
No, that's
Yeah, I see a bunch of squares.
Yeah, I see squares
Oh,
too.
really? Right, let me
That's dead hard.
pause.
Or is she lagging?
Well, it might
Yeah,
be
so-
hard to do a stream. I mean, it might be a bit hard to do a stream within a stream.
That's probably
It
true,
is
too.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the issue. It is on 720.
You know, it was starting to clear out anyway. Okay, it's cleared up now, actually. So yeah,
Right.
you should be good.
I was gonna say, watch it on the actual stream itself. For
I can put it on the
Then
actual
there's a-
stream. Yeah.
Then there's a delay, though. Then there's
Watching
a
it
delay.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
there
I'll
is
leave
that
it. I'll
delay.
leave it as it is.
So
Then.
just watch.
It'll-
Yeah. I'm seeing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So Nia.
So she's lagging here, looks like. So Jay, I'm gonna say this is totally your fault that she's lagging. I'm just kidding.
I don't know why I couldn't hit her from the side, but anyway.
I mean, you were body blocking her so hard with that, with your thickness.
Yeah.
Oh, he left.
Yeah, what's his name?
Was it
just
something I said? What is
Oh, yeah.
something
I
I
don't
said?
know. He probably just disconnected. Here, wait.
Oh god.
Oh no, our wage went.
Yeah.
there we
He's
go.
back.
Oops, accident. Press the wrong button.
You're good, man.
I would put that puddle like in the middle of that. Too close to the pallet for a slowdown.
Yeah.
I guess you need more boosts for the server.
Is that what it's saying?
It's reflecting a lot.
Ah.
Lots of squares. But I'm watching it from the stream itself, so
All
at
right.
least I can see from
Okay,
there.
So I didn't want to entertain upstairs. I don't like that upstairs bit. At this point, I realised that 3 of them are probably survivor friends. Just from the way they played at the beginning.
Cleared up for me now. It's intermittent. No problem.
That's debatable, Hammond. Survivors aren't as OP. It just depends on yourself.
Is that stream chat?
Yeah.
Well, that just sounds like somebody who don't play with a team.
So I don't understand why I didn't break the pallet, but it worked. But he obviously takes me straight for another one.
You got the mind game there. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm prepared to lose a gen there, because obviously I'm going to lose the other one. She's got balanced. And that's why I was asking about, Kirk, about your thinking behind gens, because in my opinion there, that was more important to keep that middle gen, that one that Nia's just gone to,
Yeah.
than that far one. But the problem I've got at the minute is I need a down.
I'd definitely say if you're, I mean, I don't know, at this point
Oh,
it seems
okay.
like these guys, let me see. I gotta watch more of this game because I gotta figure out how good these guys are at staying awake, because that's like a big deal when you're trying to manage like your teleports and everything. If these guys are like waking themselves up constantly, you probably want to go for the 3-gen. If they're like not really paying attention, Freddy can just teleport around the map whenever he wants, so anywhere's a 3-gen. So it's more just like you gotta see what kind of team it is, what they think is important.
There is one thing that I do find pretty interesting about your build itself is to make up for, the slow recovery, you put on Sloppy Butcher, so that way it'd take them longer to heal since you
Yeah.
have a slower recovery on your attack recovery.
Yeah.
That's why I always go in with save the best for last.
Yes.
So that
save
way
the best for last.
it speeds me up in the chase. I mean, on a character like Freddy, some people can say he's not a chase character, but I mean, honestly, you really look at Freddy's power and everything like that. He don't really have any one-hit potential unless you bring in perks specifically for that. But
Well, that's it, and I think with this video, the reason why I chose this one, because as I say, I'll let you guys watch the rest of it. But the thing that stood out for me is I thought I was putting good pressure on them.
They were healing instantly.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but they were also getting the gens done. If you look, we're down to 2 gens. I'm on 4th hook now.
But Tinker is not going off. Discordance isn't going off.
No,
so like it's not like you did the wrong thing there.
Yeah.
It looks like I think I would have done the same thing in that situation. I'll tell
what
you
it
if I
is
see a
is they
mistake.
split off. That's why. There we go. There we go. Now it's activating. But so right there, if these were really experienced survivors, they would have caught on that you had
that was
discordance
sick.
right there.
Yeah.
that took so much away from you.
Yeah. And again,
brutal.
yeah.
brutal. I'm so glad I'm on PC.
Watch again.
Pog. Let's go. Dude, that's 10 gifted subs for me for that one, bro.
Yeah.
There we go.
Finally get the hit on the 4th attempt.
You did that.
Can you like increase your sensitivity or something with consoles?
He's on console. Yeah, it's hard to.
No, I'm not on console. I'm on PC. I just use a controller. Yeah.
The controller, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I play with my sensitivity on controller at like 100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
I
have
think
to.
mine's on about 80 at the minute. So yeah, I think I probably need to increase that.
Yeah, because like
And
a
it's
lower
slower, they go
sensitivity, you're gonna get 360'd and everything.
Yeah.
I noticed right away when I see how you turn your camera around. It's like that just looks so wrong.
Yeah.
Tough. Well, it's not say hey get a mouse. That's what you're doing wrong in this game.
I have. I've got a game and mouse. Yeah, I've got a game and mouse. I just need to get practicing with them.
Very good, man. No problem.
Saying that.
All right, so
console-
right here,
like
I got-
it's just them movement.
So-
You got the hit. You got the hit.
This is where I lost the game, in my opinion. This middle bit, because as I say at the beginning, I thought I had enough pressure on. I didn't fall for the dead eye there, which was quite nice.
Good.
But that chase, I went from Jake to Nia, left her, then to Claudette.
Actually, that wasn't
Okay.
the wrong choice.
I got robbed there. Did you see the animation go off?
Yeah, I played the beginning.
And then he got dead-eyed.
Yeah, dude, I'm getting sick of that where you try to grab them and
Yeah.
then it just like cancels the animation.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Okay, can
I
I
need-
talk
I
about a
can
little
suck
story
my-
about that? I had a
It's for me
freaking
again.
Oh, wait until you finish with this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me just. So
I think that bit.
the middle bit.
Honestly, you say the Shack lost you the game. I think that when you were up at the top of Ironworks and you missed four, so I know that sounds like mean or whatever, but
No,
like
sorry,
if
yeah.
you had hit Jake and then immediately, like,
Yeah.
what I would have done in that situation, I would have hit Jake, and then immediately jumped off the platform and left him. And now, like, what? He's on the second floor of Ironworks
Yeah.
with no way to heal himself, and he's going to be too nervous to drop down. You'd be surprised, even, like, some of the best players are like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to come down yet, because if he comes up here, then I get to loop him around the god window. And then, like, but really, it's like, you don't even care about them anymore. They're not doing anything.
She's got balance as well, I know that, and I went to go for the bit. No, sorry, what I meant about that middle bit when I said it, Kirk, was the whole middle bit starting from that area. So I went upstairs, missed Jake, and then I left Jake after getting the hit and went for this Nia. Another miss there. Then I went from Nia. I got a hit on her, then I left it to go for Claudette. So that whole middle section, that's when I went up to the to the shack.
Right.
That whole middle part of it,
Can I just quickly ask, why did you put a puddle there if you were gonna break the pallet?
I don't know. I think at this point I'm just tilted. I'm
Yeah.
just
Thing is,
getting wound up. Look, I mean, I've got one gen left, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Vaults when they're down. Oh god, that bug is funny. With me,
I think the devs are just
all the
against
portals at gens, at the clocks, because you
Yeah.
always seem to have at least 5 still in your kit. You've only put 3 down.
Yeah.
I would always use as many as I possibly can, because I use his portals as actually tracking, because they go off the moment they go to sleep, and if they're on a
Look,
gen,
the
then-
animation grab
Oh
again.
my
Did
God.
you see it?
Jesus Christ.
And,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
E to
Another
outplay.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to point out is
Yeah.
I don't see you really trying to time the dead hard.
No, that's
He did it once.
That's something. I've done it once, but I do fall for it quite often.
It takes experience.
It's when the games get trickier. It's like I said, people react to it differently. I do get tilted with the game, not with the game because, during this game, I was blaming the grabs because I thought I had 2 good animation grabs there that should have went through, and they were both fully healed as well, so it would have been straight on the hooks, things like that. But I did get tilted, and then I started swinging wildly, things like that. So yeah. But what I wanted to point out, I don't know what happens next. Actually, this is the first time I'm watching it back myself, but I think it's a good game for me to show because, as I say, when I played it initially, I was like, is the game balanced? Were these good plays? Now, hand on heart, I don't actually think they were very good survivors, to be honest. I didn't particularly.
Right, but you were on the. Yeah,
I thought survivors that you played were much, much better. Not saying they were bad.
Well,
but
what I see honestly here is like survivors that are like decent, but are probably talking to each other.
Yeah.
Like they're not that great. Like I don't.
yeah.
I'm not usually like the guy that's like SWF.
Yeah.
But like these guys definitely did a lot of like
Yeah.
Oh, you're here. Okay, I'm here. Okay, you're over there. Okay, I'm back on the gen, and it was like very
'Cause
instant.
That middle
like,
gen stood out for that because as soon as one left,
instantly someone else was on it.
someone else was on it.
They might just be observant.
well,
but that was like too
another
perfect.
thing I noticed. Another thing I notice is that the survivors. I noted whenever it comes to coordinated teams. Let's be honest here, they have no fear of the killer whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Well-
saw you teleport to that generator, I noticed that they were already close to finishing it, and they didn't really care if you were going to be there or
Yeah.
not. They were getting that gen done, and that's usually coming from very confident survivors, because whenever you're going against usually a bunch of solo queues, like the second they hear an ability, see an ability, or anything like that, they scatter like roaches.
Yeah.
You know, like. So whenever I saw right there, them survivors not moving off that gen, they didn't care. They were going to take a hit for one another as long as they got
Yeah.
the gen done.
And again, when I looked, if you look on,
Do you see something? Sorry, you're lagging a bit.
sorry, say that again, Spirit. Sorry, I missed that.
I said, do you see the 3 objects of opportunities there?
The 3
They were definitely new. The 3 objects.
Oh,
no,
windows of opportunity. Yeah,
Windows?
yeah.
Yeah,
1,
that's
2. Oh, 2.
3.
Oh,
Yeah, so they knew where every
yeah,
loop
the third.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
They knew
I
where
mean,
every loop was.
it
They
was-
had that,
It was under, and look at this. This is, different build. I would have done better. So would I have done better with a different build? But this is like the emotions that come out, especially when they were like rank 1, da 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 da, and I was like, yeah, I had a pretty bad game there, But this is what I was trying to highlight.
Is that
Yeah.
is that object of obsession I see? Or
No,
hold on.
that's I think Kindred. I
I
think.
think it's Kindred. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
There's
okay,
two
okay, okay.
Kindreds.
yeah. Two Kindreds,
Um,
which makes me
Okay.
think that this
Okay.
this person was separate to these three. I think
is
these three might have
not
been
used.
together, and this one separate. But I don't know. They could have all been a 4-man. I'm not sure. Um,
If you want my opinion, I think like a good comparison for this is my video, and this isn't me like trying to like be facetious or whatever, but like here, I think this game is a perfect example of like perks boosting players to like a rank they should not fucking be at.
Mm,
I think in my game, like you
I
had
mean,
four good survivors, one of them had meta, you know what I mean? But really, I just fucked up, and it's my fault. I was playing poorly. These guys, like, I don't know, man. When I see three people with Ida outplay and like they're just like, uh, I mean, you're already on console, so it's already a little bit harder to not on console, but on controller, so it's a little bit harder to hit people already.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely saw you made like a few mistakes that
Oh,
game, but
lots of
I
mistakes.
counted what yeah, I think most of them were more tied to your equipment than your
Right.
ability as a killer because I think your mental processes were all in the right place. I mean, I don't think you ever went to the wrong place. I never felt that way when I
Yeah.
was watching. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I think this is I don't know. Sorry for not backing you up on this one, being like, "Oh, you made a lot of mistakes, and it's not the
No,
game's
no,
fault."
no.
I think
Yeah.
this one is more the game's fault than your fault, genuinely, because the
Right.
sensitivity on controller and everything, and
And the
I
two
don't know.
grabs. The two grabs.
the
Yeah,
grabs.
I didn't. I
yeah.
forgot
So
about
can I
them.
talk about that story?
But when's the last time I grabbed
Yes.
when you a
Yes.
game?
Spirit.
You
Go
know what I mean?
ahead.
Like,
So, what was it? I was playing Wraith on freaking Swamp. I took a survivor into the basement. I see this Fang coming down. I try to hit her. She immediately goes into the locker. 4 times. 4 fucking times I try to get her out of the locker. She gets out. You know when you can grab the
Time and
survivor,
yeah.
like that timing thing. I'm like, what the fuck?
tucked you
I'm
over the
trying
grab
to
like four
grab her.
times.
Yeah, pretty much. The same grab bug. She timed it so perfectly that I kept constantly trying to grab her. So then I did is I just backed up and hit her. I just like,
Yeah, that's the
fuck it.
best thing
If
you
I'm
can do.
not. That was the only thing I could do. I'm just like, either you're exploding or you're timing this fucking amazingly. I just like said, fuck it, I'm just gonna hit you, and then she ripped the person off the hook and got BT up.
That only really works if you're
Um,
like pushed right up against the locker. If you're like a step back or whatever, a lot of times it'll mess up the prompt because if they push into you, which they do when they jump out of the locker, it'll like
mm,
interrupt the prompt and then they can just jump right back in. But if you back up, then they're not interrupting the prompt anymore, so you can either hit them or grab them instantly as they come out. That's like the best thing you can do in that app is just stand still and just wait for them to come
mm.
out.
Let
But
me stop sharing that now.
It does work kinda with Leatherface because they immediately get out just at the time you're about to, open the door. Which I think it's maybe when you're doing the tantrum, you back up just at that right moment for it to work properly. I don't know, but it works better with Bubba. Works no one for anyone else.
So Darth, you wanted to show a Survivor game, or Jay, did you want to go on to?
I wanted to
Um,
show the. Let me just.
well, does it matter which side, killer or survivor?
The whole reason I wanted to do Killer this podcast was because
I,
the whole
I've got
argument is
I've got
that
a killer.
Killers. Yeah, that would be great because the whole point is the argument that Survivor is overpowered and everything, and that the oh that's a rank 15. Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
that team would
Ooh,
have done anything.
actually, I do got one. I got one. You want me to go ahead
I
and show it
don't.
now?
Well, I don't think. I'm just conscious of the time, guys, because I do definitely want to speak about Gen Rush today. So can we
Well,
hold
this
the
one
video?
actually,
Yeah.
this one, well, this does go into Gen Rush because the team I went against was, I believe they were at least a 3-man or a 4-man possibly. But you see what they did in this match that I could show, and they did this without toolboxes at
Right.
all.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see it. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Okay, you can call me out on all the mistakes and everything. Let me know what I did wrong, whatever. Let me go ahead and set it up. Screen. There we go. There we go. I got it on 720. I'm not gonna share the audio because I wasn't
You're good.
exactly trying to play nice this game because I went against some really toxic survivors beforehand. So I was not in a
Yeah.
playing nice mood.
I
you
got
know.
you.
So
Well,
yeah.
let's see.
All right, I've just got the audio muted. So here we go. It was on the Macmillan estate, obviously. But
Wait, before this game starts, is this like an effortless 4K, or is this like showcasing some mistakes and
no,
everything?
no, I didn't get a 4K out of this one.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
just hit play then.
yeah, one of the survivors did escape, but you'll see why. I mean, yeah. Okay, so right off the bat, the way I started out was I was looking. Let me pause it and go back just a second. Um, where is it? Let me go back just a little bit. There we go. All right, play. All right, so at the beginning, what I noticed was right there. I don't know how clear you can see this, but is it showing up fine?
It's a little fuzzy, but it's not. I think it's because the player. I don't think it's
See
us,
it,
but
yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Well, right here and right over there. The reason I wanted to go this direction is because whenever I'm using corrupt intervention, they usually spawn by the two most nearest generators farthest away.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to go that direction. Just letting you know from the start. I mean, this direction. As you can see, they spawned right there, and that's usually where they spawn. So we got somebody saboing right now. So I'm already off to a decent start, I believe, because I found them very quickly early on. And as you said, it's all about the early game. So I've already found them really quick. I'm bringing Franklin's demise. However, they didn't bring any items with them, but they already somehow managed to already find an item. So that means they already went down into the basement, already found, a toolbox on top of the build that they're already using. And so let's see. I anticipated her dead hard right there because usually playing at rank one, that's what at least 95% of the people up at rank one and 1 through 3 use. So I automatically assumed that it was dead hard. Found her, wanted to get her on a hook as fast as possible, get to the next generator, basically guesstimating which one it would be. So by the time I got one hook with no toolboxes, generator already done. Let me see what time it was at. I can't really tell which time it was because I usually do 3 matches back to back. So this was the third match. At this point, I was basically just kind of playing dumb, just breaking pallets instead of mind gaming pallets. So that's one thing I could point out as a flaw in my part. There's some pallets you do mind game because they're not safe pallets, and then there's some pallets that you just break because they're too good. Like you got like say you got 2 rocks, a long rock on the left and a long rock on the right, like Orman, for example. You get some long rocks on left and right side and a pallet in between, and those are extremely safe because there's not really much mind game potential to it. Like the ones that are unsafe is one with like a small rock on the right and a long rock on the left. So that only leaves them one direction to go. And you can basically mind game that. If you push them the correct way, you can force them into putting themselves in a bad situation, if you get what I mean. And also, if you are going to break a pallet, you want to make sure that you want to push them the direction you want them to go, not the direction that they need to go to keep looping you. Like, for example, pushing them.
I'm going to say, earlier on, you pushed her into the center of the map. You had her at a seawall, and you kicked the thing from the outside that pushed her deeper into the map. I just want to point that out. Like, you cleared all the pallets on that one part of the map, and then you pushed her towards where more pallets were, and then she got away. But I'm just saying.
Oh no, I don't mind the criticism. Like I actually wanted some input on the mistakes I made during this match. Yeah. Because like I definitely you can go all in on me on the criticism. I want it.
Yeah, that was perfect. Just like that. You should push him.
people
All
don't
right, so I already
actually.
knew that they were gonna go ahead.
Most people don't actually plan of where the survivor is, like forcing them into a dead zone per se. Like you just did was pretty much a dead zone to that person, so they had either kept going where they were going or backtracked to hopefully get the killer to like think that they went the other way. Which
Yeah,
50-50 depending on the killer's level of how long they've been playing definitely works or definitely doesn't.
yeah. I
Gloria's
always
doing a good job
like I
there. What are you
used like
plotting?
yeah. I already knew what she was trying to do, but I wasn't about to give in to that. Because like I said, I wasn't playing the nicest. I just wanted to take advantage of the knockdown that I could have got. And then I wanted to get to a gen because I know when they're running me, they're usually trying to run me farthest away from the generator
Yeah.
that they're trying to do. So basically, what I did was right there was I just teleported as far from the chase as possible after I got that hook because usually survivors
Well,
only
gotta grab there.
memorize yeah, survivors usually only memorize 2 points of interest at a time from what I've noticed. They'll be like a point A and point B. You know, if the killers at point A go to point B and get on that gen and do this and that. So whenever I'm playing Freddy, I at least try to memorize 2 key locations that the survivors go to the most. So that way, whenever I teleport to a generator, either they're going to run into me or I'm going to run into them. And more than likely, I'm going to get a pop goes the weasel. That's why Discordance and Tinker are good, but if you can memorize at least 2 key points of interest, you don't really need Discordance or Tinker, if you get what I mean.
Yes, but there's a lot of times where you're against a good team and they know that you're thinking they're going to go back to a gen that's almost done, so they will split off and go towards other gens. And
That
meanwhile,
actually
Yeah,
you're at point A and B. Like, why aren't they here doing the two gens that are at 99%? They've already given up on them and they're doing the other ones because you're so worried about
patrolling them.
those two. You know,
Yeah.
like that they've already moved on to the
yeah,
new ones. That's I mean that's if you run into like one of those 1 in 100 like actually decent teams, but they're I guess it depends on your
Several
region.
teams. Mm.
yeah. Well, me, whenever I'm in a match at rank 1, especially versus coordinated teams, I'm automatically expecting not to get a 5 gen completion. Like I'm expecting at least to lose a few gens.
I'd love to have a
So
conversation with you about rank sometime if you ever mind, because I think you
I don't.
are trapped in the rank bit where like you think that rank matters a little bit more than it actually does,
Rank
man.
does not matter.
I
Rank
I
doesn't
just
matter.
get sick of people telling me rank don't matter whenever I 90% of the time see the higher ranks outperforming the lower ranks. And then they tell me rank don't matter. And I'm like, it does matter because
Well,
the people that are ranking up are usually the ones who actually care about their rank. So they're actually putting in more effort to rank up than the average player, which would indicate a skill factor.
here, let me. Do you mind actually pausing this really quick, Jay? Do you mind if I go off on a little segue with that really
No,
quick,
no.
or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so a lot of the reason that people say that rank doesn't matter in this game is because the ranking system for Survivor is outstandingly easy. Is you
Yes.
can get to rank 1 as Survivor near effortless. Like I've seen like dozens upon dozens upon dozens of people who are at rank 1 or whatever that like literally run into walls, and I will look at their profile and they have about 100
Mhm.
hours in the game. Now, I'm not trying to say
Yeah,
that
I
those
agree.
people are like garbage or anything. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone, you know, panics. But I am going to say one thing, and that's that the top like 50% of this game's player base is rank 1. It's not like 10% of people are at rank 1. And what you end up with in that kind of situation is you have okay, so like for example, Overwatch and League of Legends, you have bronze, silver, gold, etc. They all
Yeah.
distinguish your skill. I think in Dead by Daylight, your skill cap at rank 1 usually caps off at gold. And then everyone who's like platinum, diamond, masters also is at rank 1. So you get this ridiculous range of survivors. So when I say rank doesn't matter, I mean rank 1 doesn't matter. I'm not saying that like the people at rank 20 are the same skill level as the people at rank 1 or even the people at rank 8 are the same rank as the people at rank 1. But what I am saying is that you come into a very, very large pool of very, very different hours at high rank. And I think that definitely needs to
Well,
be,
to be
calculated, especially considering you can have an SWF of tournament players, or you could have an SWF of 100-hour players that only got to rank 1 because they're in an SWF and they can pressure gens well. Like the other day, I got down to, I wish I had saved it. It was a great clip. But I was on one of the most powerful killer maps in the game. It was Dead Dog Saloon, and I was Blight, and I had good add-ons. And the team who was like, they spawned on 4 different generators. So they were split 4 ways. I got one on a hook, and Tinkerer allowed me to push 2 people off gens. I lost one, but the other 2 were 99. And then I then proceeded to, clap the team, obviously, because I was a Blight. It's one of the reasons I play Blaze, is because I can capitalize in situations where, like, even if they're split up, I can do something about it. But something I noticed is that those guys weren't good. It was actually quite a bad team. They weren't that talented. They weren't that good at the game. And this comes into variance and random, generation. Those guys only got those gens because they spawned separately from each other. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's just so many
yeah,
factors that
because you
tie
can't
into a
be
match. That's usually why.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you can't be in 4 places at once.
But that's what I mean. When people say rank doesn't matter, that's why. Because there's so many RNG factors that go into a match, all that, clumped
Well,
up grouping of players at rank 1. And I feel like when MMR comes out, rank won't necessarily matter, but you'll see a lot more people being matched up with people at their own skill level.
Yes.
So
yeah. Well, what I've
it's going to be a
seen,
lot more interesting then.
what I've seen from legitimate teams at rank 1, actual rank 1s, not just people who were carried.
Well, those are
Um,
rank 1s too. You have to realize when you say a rank 1, that is someone who has attained the rank of rank 1 in the game Dead by Daylight. Doesn't mean they deserved it, but guess what? They made it there.
okay,
And whether
well,
they made it with Dead Hard, Borrowed Time, Decisive Strike, Unbreakable, they still made it to rank 1. So,
yeah.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I could see that. I could see that point of view. Yeah, definitely, I could see that point of view, but I could also okay, what, I might be able to agree with you on that on the survivor side, but on killer side, you can't tell me there isn't a difference between a rank 16 and a rank 1.
I actually can agree with that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that like it's a lot. The ranking system for killer isn't good, but it's definitely harder than Survivor. Not to the
It's
point where
way
like
harder.
if you play a lot, you can still get to rank 1. But I think rank. I think it depends on the killer you're playing. Because if you play Spirit, or you
It
play,
does.
or you play like Legion with double slowdown ons, I don't know. If you play stuff that's unpleasant to go against, a lot of times killers will just get to rank 1 because a lot of survivors leave. They kill themselves on hook because they don't want to play that game anymore. So a lot of killers play those like not builds that are overpowered because they're really not overpowered. Like there's only like 2 overpowered killer builds in the game, but they're just unpleasant to face and they're boring. It's a slog. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not, even if you know you have a chance at winning, it's not fun anymore. So those people will leave games and that'll
Yeah.
just boost the win rates of killers to the point where they get to rank 1. Now, in a perfect world where survivors don't leave games and everything, yeah, I'd say that rank kind of matters a little bit more as killer. And I'm not saying you got to rank 1 through DCs. You know what I mean? I'm sure you played enough Freddy where you're really good at Freddy. But I'm saying that
Yeah.
there's just so many factors that go into it. I cannot look at a killer that's rank 1 and then immediately be like, you're good. And there's a reason for that. It's because the ranking system's not well made. And which is fine. It's okay to
Right.
acknowledge that the ranking system's not well made. That's the dev's fault. You know what I mean? There's nothing. I'm not blaming you when I say that the ranking system's bad. What the fuck? It's not your fault. It's the game. You know what I mean? But it just there's so much variance that I think the ranking system needs a total rework. And if it gets better, then yeah. I think hours
Yeah,
matter a lot
definitely.
more than rank.
That's
personally.
key. And what I've been
I
doing
agree.
is I've been checking out the hours if I can on the Steam profile as much as possible and trying to see if it correlated with the skills of survivors. Nothing too scientific. I wasn't like documenting it or anything, but for instance, if I played a game today, some survivors had 180 hours. Now, I can't say anything because I've got quite a lot of hours on console and then I moved to PC. So when someone clicks on my PC profile, they'll see at the minute I think it's about 800, 900 hours. So you can't really take that figure as granted. But today when I played a game, there was a couple of survivors, 180 hours, 200 hours, and then there was one Claudette who had 2,700 hours. I could tell the difference as soon as we started playing, and I don't know whether it was subconscious or what, but she was taking up my time. She was running to the right places, and again, it made me think. Well, yeah, it's reflective because the hours. Not saying the other survivors were bad, but she stood out on that team, on that survivor team, because she had all the hours in comparison to other people.
Right. Well, I mean, the hours, like, I'm too lazy to do the math, but my time played is 67 days, 23 hours, and 33 minutes.
Yeah, so a lot.
Mine's half a year.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how many hours that is exactly, but I know I've played long enough to know quite a bit about the game. I've played 4 devotions as Freddy alone.
Yeah.
you know, so
Nice.
It's about 16. It's about 1,000, or sorry, 1,700. It's right around. I just googled it. I did the calculator on Google.
Right.
So it's about
1,700 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Should we crack on with this video?
Which is good.
Can I also?
Yeah,
just say
let's go
one
ahead
thing?
and finish up this video of
Can I just say
my
one
match.
thing before?
Yeah,
you
Spirit.
get back to it?
Go ahead.
With it, like insta down killers like Billy, Leather Billy, and Michael. The thing is about them is that when you get the insta downs, your chase emblem tanks incredibly bad.
Yeah.
I've actually played with Leather Billy where I just only used my saw to down like every survivor I ever gone past, and I actually got 3 kills, and I've already like hooked them at least 3 times, and the last guy either got hatched or got out the door. I would either get brutal, or I even would go D-pip. It's that busted for killer. But with Survivor, all you need is 1 gen by yourself, and 1 hook save, heal them, and then pretty much last for 5 minutes, and or just do a little run around with the killer, and that's it, you pipped.
Yeah, well, I've noticed
it's that
there's a
easy
specific
For
strategy.
Survivor.
Like, literally, all you have to do is get about 2 gens. Like, all you have to do is about 2 gens and a couple saves off of a hook,
I thought
and
it
then
was
just run the killer, and you'll get a pip.
I thought it was 1 gen if you do it by yourself. Because you also, I think, is it skill checks that count to it? No, I think it's just the entire gen itself. But
Too
if
many
you do it with another
factors, but-
survivor, it takes it.
There is a lot of
It
factors,
takes
yeah.
them, you're like, boom.
Which brings
Yeah.
on to the
Yeah.
emblem system in total, which
All right.
is not the best, is it?
No.
Nah.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and, if you don't mind, get this
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
match over with real quick. So,
Yep.
all right, like I said, tell me what I did wrong. We've been doing good at that so far. Let's see, where were we? Okay, so I'm putting a survivor on a hook. From that point on, I don't have a teleport yet. So,
These teleport add-ons are great when you stack them. I love them.
So
yes,
true.
to me, it's the best. To me, it's the best thing he has for add-ons. I mean, his best add-ons are getting nerfed, but yeah.
So they just got the last
The-
gen. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I have no kills yet with every gen completed. Even though I'm applying pressure. I mean, I'm doing the best I can to put as much pressure on them,
Can you
as go ahead.
Yeah, can you just pause it a second? See, this is where I think in this game you would have done better if you had Tinkerer or some information perk, because I know you're saying you've sort of got your own system to use, but for me there, and especially with that last gen, you sort of walked away from a survivor. I know because you said your teleport's not back yet, but you've walked away from a survivor. But with some information perk, I think you would have known that which gen would have popped, was about to pop anyway, and whether or not that would have then made you think, actually, I'm going to leave this survivor slug because I need to go and get that gen stopped. That's just my own personal thought. Yeah, but just wanted to say that.
I agree. See, the build that I'm using was made specifically for SWF's teams. I put on Corrupt Intervention to prevent them from gin rushing at the start of the match. I put on Franklin's demise save the best for last to speed me up in the chase, to be as fast as possible, staying on the chase as much as I can, getting downs as fast as possible because every second on the clock counts. I put on Franklin's demise to slow them down, taking the items out of their hands. So, if they run across the map, then either they're going to run back to it or somebody else is forced to come back and do it. Pick up their item, which is somebody that's not on a gin, and that's two people not on a gin. Like I said, it buys you a few extra seconds, and if they don't go back for it, then they're still going to be slower on gins. Pop goes the weasel, obviously to slow the game down a little bit. Basically the build was made to counter everything that they bring to the table. It's a flashlight team, just knock the flashlight out of their hand. They're a med kit team, knock the med kits out of their hand. Toolboxes slows down gin rush. Maps, now they were relying on that map, now they ain't got it in their hand, and now they're kind of wondering where to go and what to do. That's my build design. And that's why I also had Nancy's masterpiece and sketch, so that way I could get my teleport back as fast as possible, because without it, they really have no reason to fear Freddy's Dream World.
Yeah. Okay, doc. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So basically, it's in-game. Like I said, I didn't plan on playing very nice, so I brought something that could help me out. This is one thing I don't get, is why people complain about Ebony Mori. I see an incredible bias whenever it comes to Ebony Mori, because I see a lot of survivors complaining about Ebony Mori, but yet it's perfectly fine for them to bring all of their strongest items, but if you bring it, it's an issue.
Yeah.
With an every morning now, since you have to, when they're on Death Hook, you can do it, so it's not as bad as it used to been. You can't just go.
Yeah, but compare that. Compare that to keys, though.
True, keys. If they just add the animation where you actually have to put the key in the lock kind of thing to give a little bit of indication, oh yeah, they have a key, instead of just yeet, jumps in, and then you immediately realize, oh fuck. At least you can have that small window of time of hitting it.
Yeah. All right, so I put her on the hook because I needed to be fast, because I actually wanted to get to this girl with the green hair. I think what is it, Meg?
Nia, isn't it? Is it Nia?
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's one of them. Yeah, Nia.
I'm not trying to be rude, but you kept talking about how you were gonna be, you were gonna be kind of ruthless this match, but you've been pretty. I'm not gonna say tame, but you had a very. It looked like you could have killed both of them there if you had stayed a little bit towards the hook and just guarded that one area in front of the gate. There's not really much they could do. Borrowed time's not going to activate because the rescuer's asleep.
You're going to see the survivors get really cocky here in a second, and you'll see.
But that isn't. Yeah, but if they get cocky, that isn't you winning. You know what I mean? That's them getting cocky.
They could have. Two of them at least could have escaped. But right here, you're going to see one reason that I use save the best for last. This is a really good reason to use save the best for last when you're in this kind of a situation.
If you're about to talk about borrowed time, this isn't going to work anymore in the next patch.
No. It's not about borrowed time at all.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Exactly. Right here. And you're about to see me get cheated out of a grab as well, which is really irritating. Right there, I went for the grab. Yeah, you gotta love it.
Talk to you again. It's magnetized.
Screw it.
Great time.
There we go. Got her. There we go. Got her.
Play, isn't it?
And I was gonna,
So I wanted to bait that because I knew she was gonna try to get her teammate off of the ground. So I figured maybe the Mori would finish fast enough and I could catch her before she made it to the gate.
Yeah.
But dead hard.
So now, would you?
Mori is pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, now I get a 3K out of it. So what all mistakes do you really think I made during this match?
I I mean,
for me personally, I think I've already said it.
I
Um,
think a lot of the mistakes you made, you didn't even realize you made. Because like, if you don't have detection perks or ways to like quickly link chases into each other and keep constant pressure, like you're just going after whoever you see. And a lot of times, whoever you see is exactly who the survivors want you to see.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because if they're not hiding from you,
Yeah,
then chances are they're pretty comfortable with being chased. You know,
yeah, they're
um,
designed for the chase. Yeah.
and I think that's a big part of detection perks. They let you catch people who don't want to be chased. It's why they're so good. But honestly, it's my original
Okay.
statement. A lot of the mistakes you made, you probably couldn't pinpoint that you made them because you didn't know what to act on because you didn't have detection perks. Now, if you want to like ask me my personal opinion, I think Franklin's is a waste of a perk slot. In my
me too.
opinion, the
I
only
think
Yeah,
time,
that as
and
that's.
well.
I
I
was
think
gonna mention that Franklin's
I
is pretty much a waste,
I think
and
it's only
including
good if you
Crux.
It's
see, like, if you physically are looking at the team and you see that it's a four toolbox team. Because a lot of times when you're in the lobby, and you see like items in people's hands, those are items that they planned to bring into the lobby, so they probably have good shit on them. You know what I mean? And if
yeah,
someone,
but it saved me from hatch escapes. Like there was this one match I had where the survivor had a key and she was right in front of the hatch. I hit her, knocked the key out of her hand, prevented her from opening the hatch, and got a kill out of it.
I think you're always going to have it situational. I mean, the thing that stands out for me here is that what is this the stuff that they brought in because it's only one item was the rest of the
Yeah.
stuff they found. So I
Yeah,
think for
yeah,
me,
they brought
if I'm looking,
yeah, they brought
yeah,
one toolbox. They brought one toolbox to prove thyself and pretty much dead hard, dead hard, dead hard.
yeah.
One was specifically engineered for two manning a generator,
So
which would be this one right here,
yeah.
SSS rank player.
So
Yeah,
my
specifically.
question, yeah. So my question would be, okay. So you've got Franklin's on to counter one toolbox, or you could have Discordance on to count. And I know this is stuff that you don't see beforehand, but you could have countered this prove thyself with Discordance or Tinkerer to give you an idea of where they're at. So for me personally, I think the lack of informational perk made a difference for me.
yeah,
But
the
yeah,
the only way to buy time isn't like buying time for yourself as killer isn't always as direct as regressing a generator. Buying time could be getting yourself from point A to point B faster, or even knowing where point B even is. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you just want you could just be wandering around the map looking for the next objective. But if you know where the objective is, which is the survivor you need to kill, you can get there a lot faster and cut down that extra time that in your head you might be attributing to the gens going a little bit too fast. It really it is situational, but I'd say that like if you're planning around the worst case scenario, that isn't like for example, let's say you get a 3K or whatever. You know what I mean? The last person you close the hatch and the last person with the key gets the hatch and then you knock Franklin, you Franklin's demise their key and they drop it and it's like, "See, I got that kill because of Franklin's demise." But did Franklin's demise win you the game? Or did you like get like a knock a
No,
key
it
out of somebody's hand and they didn't get
well,
the
there
hatch and
ain't
they died? Like you know what I mean? Like
well
that
to be
meta
fair, there ain't
application.
It's
no
the
perk
best.
in to be fair, there ain't no perk in the game that's just gonna hand you a match. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
but it does help. It helps you get to that step. It pretty much it gives you over that one bump that you need to get over in
like
situations.
I can admit Franklin's demise ain't the greatest of the best perks in the game, but I will say it's better than Lightborn,
Yeah, but
at
nobody
least.
runs Lightborn. Like that's like a
I know,
straw
that's what
man.
I'm saying. Nobody runs it because it's a crap perk.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
But
just
no
so
think
one's arguing to run Lightborn.
yeah, I just think there's
Unless you
much
want a
better
meme.
perks.
It's so funny when you want a meme.
Yeah. Right, guys, I'm conscious of the time, so we have
alright.
around 10 minutes to discuss Gen Rush. TDS
Oh.
Darth Wage,
all right.
I will let you fire away because I know you've been wanting to bring this up.
All
Gen
right.
Rush, is it
Didn't you say
real?
you had didn't yes, it is real. It's very real. And you can still pip off of it. Like you can literally like there's two methods. Like some people can call it smart, some people can call it dumb, whatever you will. I've Do you have the video? You said you were gonna play that match of where we were gen rushing in that recent video I made for the gen rush.
With the Freddy. With the
Yeah.
Freddy.
Yeah.
I do. Let me just
Yeah, can you show that real quick? Because what we're doing in that match is only 25% of the build. We only had one brand new part. We came in with a 3-man. There was a random. So if we would have came in with at least 3 brand new parts. All right, I'm gonna wait for you to find the area of.
Okay, Darth Wage. Look, I'm not trying to instantly disrespect you before I even see your evidence, but let me just get into something really quick. If let's say old Mories are back in the game. Look, we're in the old update for Dead by Daylight where you can Mori off of first hook. Did you see any survivors complaining about kill rushing because people would run Mori's ultra rare offerings that only could be used one time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a brand new part is a really good argument for why, Gen Rush being a problem when it's a one-use item that you can, that's instantly consumed and, is probably going to be nerfed again in the future.
Yeah, you can, but the thing is, with Built to Last, you can get 50% of your. Go ahead.
Sorry for interrupting, but you're versing a rank 15, though. They won't necessarily know how to actually pressure gens, let alone able to, I get it that.
See, the reason.
You go.
The reason I had that was people was telling me rank don't matter. That's what I kept hearing. That's all I kept hearing. That's the reason I did it the way I did it. I wanted to hit everything at once. Freddy OP. Okay, well, here's Freddy. All right. Gen Rush don't exist. All right, well, here's 25% of a Gen Rush. Oh, what is it? What was the other one? Rank don't matter. All right, let's find out. So I basically wanted to nail an all-in-one, so basically this right here is only 25% of a maximum gen speed rush. Only 25% of it. It can go way faster than this, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, what we'll
all right,
do,
go ahead and play it.
We'll play it, yeah, and then we'll then critique it after, I think, guys. Yeah. So you can see how quick this.
All right, if you could go back and show if you can go back and when the gen first started, and look at how long it actually took. And we didn't even have 3 brand new parts. We did have 3 toolboxes, however, but only 1 brand new part. If we would have brought 3 brand new parts during this moment, and I missed a skill check, keep in mind right there, but this generator would have already been done by the time you saw it get to half right there. The generator would have already been done. So as much as y'all talk about, well, the killer can just come over and now you're in a bad position. No. If we would have had 3 brand new parts, that generator would have been done in 8 seconds. All right. There is no killer who can get across the entire map in 8 seconds. That still gives you plenty of time to split up and go off in your own directions and do gens while one survivor stays behind and goes on the chase. Well, that's still plenty of time.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't really part of the argument, but there are killers who can get across the map in 8 seconds. But regardless of that, that's irrelevant.
Only top tier. Only top tier.
Right. Well, Freddy's top tier. But anyway, I'm going to say this, and this is kind of like going back to the beginning, because we mentioned at the beginning, this game isn't about getting a 4-man 5 gen. That is not the game of Dead by Daylight. That isn't, if you get a 4-man 5 gen, that is not an achievement. That's not talented, because chances are if you got a 4-man 5 gen, you're against 4 potatoes. And it's not based around the very first few gens more than it is based around the very first few chases that you can perform as a killer. If you go to a generator that just got completed, you just said that isn't a bad situation for the survivors because they already finished the gen. How is that a bad situation? Because they're all grouped together. It doesn't matter they got the first gen done.
It would honestly be better if they
that's true. That's true, but
the separate gens.
I mean, if you're basing the game like around only the best of the best, highest mobility killer, and not taking in consideration the slower killers,
no. So Yeah, so I'm playing Wraith.
Yeah,
I'll give you an example. I'm playing Wraith. Well, I guess he is fast. Let's say
he's not slow. Let's say
Pig.
let's
Pig.
Pig.
maybe
You want to say
pig or hag. Maybe pig or hag.
Hag's S tier, so I don't know. I mean, she's like really good. I mean, because Hag's not
I
going to
mean,
care about the first few
that,
gens. That's actually a
all
perfect
right,
example of why you're
Yeah.
wrong.
I know.
Because
Yeah.
Hag
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
care about the
gonna.
first few gens at all.
She or Trapper.
I
You
know
just
she
allow
don't.
those gens.
Like she's
and they
busy
get set
setting up her traps, and by the time
Yeah.
she gets them done, it's by the time she gets everything like that versus a coordinated team that actually know how to loop. I'm not talking
See,
about people who gen rush and can't loop at
yeah.
all. I'm talking about people who can do both.
Because you don't loop Hag. That's why. I mean, like, this is just one example of a killer, so it's not really the most like stand-up argument. But Hag is a terrible example because Hag doesn't chase. You set up a trap, you go to the trap, you instantly hit people. The the problem sets in when you have killers that don't benefit from early game. But here's the thing. Like all killers benefit from getting a chase early. And like the only time you're gonna have a 4-man 5 gen where the first gen doesn't get done quickly is if you're against a bad team. So to say
Yeah,
that
I
that's
know.
I'm only basing that off of the best survivors isn't really fair because I'm sure against like a team that's decent,
No, I
they're
know.
gonna
I
get the
said
first
you're
gen done pretty
basing.
quick.
No, no, I said you're basing that on the best of the best killers, not survivors. Like I'm talking about like a slow movement killer like ain't gonna stand a chance versus that.
It takes about 20 seconds for like a killer to walk from like one side of like this map, let's say, to the other. And it's not Mother's Dwelling. You know, like this map isn't really the biggest
And it
map. And
only
if you
takes
have a bunch of survivors near each
yeah,
other and you injure three of them, unless they all have medkits, you know, they all heal themselves in 2 seconds. Or if like you
yeah.
hit
So
one and
it
then they immediately group up together and start healing, that's still time that they're spending healing and time that you're chasing somebody else that's already been. Look, it's just
so you're telling me that it takes a slow movement speed killer 20 seconds to get across a map, and I could get a generator done in 8 seconds to 10 seconds,
with brand
and
new
that
parts.
and, yeah, and you're saying that we don't have enough time to spread out.
Okay, when I play killer, I play the spirit. I hook everybody one time and then I mori them all instantly. I did that so quick. I did it so quick. People are kill rushing. How is
Yeah,
that fair?
yeah. See, this is the thing that really bothers me about a lot of the community. Any conversation or debate I go into, they only say nurse or
Whoa,
spirit. That's
whoa,
all I ever hear.
whoa,
Oh,
dude.
dude, I'm telling you that it's
Whoa,
just as
dude.
skillless to do
Yeah.
that as it is to use brand new parts, and brand new parts are one-time use, just like Mori's. That's the comparison I'm making. I'm
And
not
they
I
making the
think
comparison that Spirit and Nurse can defend themselves against a good team. That's not the argument I'm making. The argument I'm making is that it's just as overpowered to run a single-use item that lets you kill the entire team as it is for 4 people to run brand new parts. And if anything, running 4 brand new parts is more expensive than running a Mori because that's 4 separate ultra rares. When a killer's only running one ultra rare, it's able to kill the entire team, and that got nerfed. But it's like
Yeah, we're gonna mention that.
Yeah,
these.
but that's also 16 perks against 4.
Yeah, but that you can do that every game because the survivor perks, like just logically, are not worth as much as the killer perks because there are no survivor perks
Well,
that
yeah,
like nerf
They're
killer
designed to do
actions.
that. Yeah.
the
There's no
reason
like,
I
there's
think
nothing
the
that
reason
nerfs a
the
killer.
guys, if we
The
if we
reason the killer perks are the way they are. Well, hold on. The reason the killer perks are the way they are is because it's only one person versus 4 people. I mean, it's 4 brains versus 1 brain. You're gonna have to have something that helps you out in multiple categories.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that the killer perks can do any variety of things as far as buffing themselves, nerfing the enemy, regressing generators, such and such.
Mm.
Survivor perks are only built to be able to help each other, or two are made to like do gens a little bit faster, and then the rest are chase perks. You know what I mean? That only work for that survivor. Killer perks are meant to pressure an entire team of survivors. That and they're balanced differently than survivor perks. I'm not saying that all killer perks are perfectly balanced and all of them are powerful, but that's usually the most powerful perks are the ones that can pressure an entire team, and that's because they're killer perks and they do that
So, one last thing, real quick. How do you think Myers would stand?
against
How do
two.
you think Myers would do it versus a full gen rush of
Okay,
of that degree?
Well, the
I think
problem is it's Myers' self because Myers is like his power is a bit limited because he can only just stock a limited amount of stock out of one survivor, and then pretty much he's shit
Hmm.
out of luck when he gets. So pretty much it's Michael himself that needs fixing.
But
And
then,
All right,
Myers is
not
trashed here against decent survivors.
Because they know how to
you're all
break
running
line
the
of
best
sight.
shit.
Thank
Hmm.
you, thank you, thank you. That was my point.
but
Is
guys, if we
he's already shit tier.
right, let's just bring this back onto this
Yeah.
video. The problem you've got, I mean, just to answer your question about Myers, let me just tell you what I said to Darth Vader earlier when I watched this video. The things that I noticed, I knew the killer was low, like a higher rank killer, let's say, low rank, whichever way you look at it, when I watched the game, because the telltale signs were there. I mean, when he seen you in the shack, he vaulted the window, allowing you guys to just spread out from the doorways, which was just bizarre. But again, I'm going to acknowledge that this guy is newer at the game, let's say, or hasn't played for a while or something like that. But it's I would much
He's
rather
played enough to have 3 tier 3 perks.
Yeah, but these three, I mean,
But
these two come for free, don't they? These like the ones that you normally find in your thing. He's
yeah,
obviously played Legion, or he's got that from the
And two of them are
shrine.
default perks,
Yeah,
and one's teachable.
yeah.
mhm.
So I would say he's probably a newer player. Um, the biggest mistake he made was obviously he then went after you straight away, and he just prolonged that chase for too long. And this is not a mistake that you only see lower killers do. You see that with a lot of killers. When I'm thinking about when I'm playing, and this is what I said to you, how the games normally go against a good team. So if I'm playing if I'm
Sorry about that.
if I'm playing a competent, decent team, I'll go find the survivor. Survivors will have already split up. By the time I end the chase, if I'm lucky, I'll be losing 2 gens. If I'm unlucky, if I've been really efficient, I'm going to lose 3 gens. And that's how the games generally go if you are playing against good teams, because the teams are going to split up. So what you have to do then, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong with this, but I will then have to look out for which generators. I've got to make a decision. Do I stay with the survivor if I'm going to lose gens? Which gens am I happy to lose? What's next? Things like that. And that's why I put an importance on the informational perks. But if all the survivors spawn and go onto a generator at the same time, even if it takes 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever it is with the brand new parts, that's music to my ears, really. That's perfect, because a more competent
I
killer,
know.
I think, would have had a down pretty quickly in that situation in the shack, because all the survivors were there and he didn't even get a hit. He went running after you, but as I
Yeah,
say,
but you're only. But this discussion has only been about one method of gen rush. There's more than one. There's where you can split off and everybody goes off and does an 80-second gen on their own, popping 3 gens at the same time. There's people that go in groups of 2, splitting off with 2 prove thyself.
yeah,
And basically, from what I've seen with brand new parts, is you can literally 2-man a generator in 22 seconds.
yeah,
So splitting off in groups of 2, that's like, even if even if the killer does find the survivors, they ain't gonna find the other group of survivors. So a gen is gonna get
you're
done in
gonna lose a
22
gen.
seconds regardless.
Yeah,
You're
look
gonna
at,
lose it regardless.
yeah. Look at Kirk's game. Kirk, don't mind me saying it, you lost that game because of the early game. Simple.
Yeah, my early game was
Yeah,
horrendous.
yeah, and that is the importance of the early game, that people don't put a lot of, they don't really get the point that how the game works is 4 survivors. There's only 1 killer. You're going off. You're going to have to find one of those survivors. If you find all 4 of them, perfect. If they all decide to sit around a gen and do that 1 gen, the gen will get done quicker. But there's 6 other gens that haven't been touched. If you go and you find 1 survivor and they've done what you said, they've all split up to take 80 seconds to do it, then that is efficient play by the survivors. But that's something that, again, you're going to come across. It happens when you play efficient survivors. For me, I think that's the right way to do it. they'll split up. So you can only keep one
Yeah, I can
busy.
agree.
Or the game just gives them all random
Yeah.
spawns that are
Now-
all separate to each other.
Yeah, like Kirk's game, Kirk failed to get that one hook early, because then what happens if you've got 3 survivors working on a gen, you hook one survivor's going to have to leave that gen to come and get the rescue. So straight away, that map pressure, you've put pressure on the survivors straight away. Now, ideally, what you need to happen, you're walking away. Again, if you're coming across an efficient team, they might do this, but usually you'll walk away from there, know where to go next, because if you've got, so for instance, like I said, I mentioned Tinkerer. I'll use Tinkerer. I'll know which gen's going to pop next, because if they've been taking 80 seconds, it's very likely it's coming up at that time anyway. By the time I've found a survivor, chased them, hooked them, it's coming up at that time. So straight away, I will go off and put pressure on another survivor. So I'm taking a survivor off a gen straight away. That leaves 2 survivors on the gen, one hopefully in chase. So I'm in chase straight away. So one of the other people is going to have to leave a gen. So that leaves one person working on a gen, because one's gone off to get the save. And as I said, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just my theory on it. So straight away, you've gone from 3 people on a gen, ploughing the gen, to down to 1 potentially, if you get it right, that initial hook, down, chase, going to the right place. That's why I think it's important to have that information, to go to the right place, to scatter another survivor off there. And is that not how the game should be played? So yes, in a bad game, I might lose 3 gens straight away. That one chase might have cost me 3 gens, but what I try to do with the videos is to go, actually, if you make mistakes, it's going to happen. Good survivors are going to punish you for these mistakes. What do you think, guys? Does that make sense, or is that...
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
That makes sense to me. That
Yeah.
sounds
I mean-
pretty logical.
Yeah.
I mean, in my personal opinion, I just feel like survivors getting a free generator from spawn just for bringing an item is a bit ridiculous. But to each their own.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. So if we're saying...
I mean, could you
think-
imagine that if I got a... I mean, imagine me getting a free kill from spawn as a killer.
But I think-
Everybody would be like, all right, this is just
Yeah,
stupid.
but I think it's very, very situational. So when I play Survivor, do I ever use brand new part? I've never used them. I've got them stacked. I've sometimes had to get them. It's been offered on the blood web and I've got no choice. But I'll never use them because it's one of those things in the game. So, but I think it's 2 separate issues. If you're saying to me, brand new parts is not very good, add-on needs to be removed. I think the same about Keys and Mori. I think anything that ends a game early should be out. I don't agree with them. However, if you're saying brand new parts is bad, then I'll agree with you on that one. But if you're saying Gen Rush is real because of brand new parts, I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. However,
All right.
I agree.
Well,
I agree with you in regards to prove thyself, resilience stuff. I don't think I don't think the devs should be bringing a lot of those perks out, because I don't think it helps the game. I don't think the gen speed is fine, but what I'm saying is that this I notice against tournament team. I don't notice it in the public matches.
Well, what I have noticed is that they have gen speed on top of very good map design for survivors.
Yeah.
I mean, like you take some people may disagree with me on this, but the Springwood map, the preschool, it's got like 3 god palettes.
Yeah.
You know, there's the one in the bottom of the school. There's one in the hallway of the school. There's one in Kill Shack. I mean, I have an issue with that whenever there's 3 free escapes on a map. I mean, I could understand 1 god palette or something like that, but as far as having as much as 3 free escape god palettes, that's kind of ridiculous.
That's the thing, though. Now you're starting to get back on track, because you're actually getting towards where we're trying to get you, is that the gen speed, like, it matters like about 50 times less than like the actual structure of the maps. It's usually maps that end up cucking a killer and making it so, they can't apply the pressure they need to apply when they do find all the survivors on their first gen that just get done, let's say. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's honestly the frame of thinking is that like there's too many god palettes on some maps, like I completely agree with you. But
Yeah.
like to say that a survivor's getting their first gen done, I'm not gonna say it's meaningless because it definitely has weight to it. It's just like once you have enough hours in the game, it's more about controlling the generators you have, especially the ones close to each other, and securing a 3 or 4 gen and like making sure that survivors don't split your pressure by you know
Hmm.
spreading themselves out. You need to be able to like attack from multiple angles, and a lot of times in those end game scenarios where, like you said, like the survivors are split on gens, so it's like hard to pressure them. The less gens there are, the less directions there are to split in. So that's why the game
Hmm.
naturally becomes harder to repair generators as more are repaired because there's less to split between for the team because you can just there's they're going to be on one of the last 4 or 3 gens. It's not like there's like 10 more across the map you have to worry about. So that's the whole point of Dead by
Yeah.
Daylight is pressuring those last few
Yeah. But
gens,
if
and
they,
the first few are almost a cushion to prevent the last three
yeah,
from getting done instantly.
but if survivors are smart, they're gonna do the gens, but they're gonna leave one on each side,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one in the far
That's
back,
what,
one in
and
the
that's
far
why it's a
front.
killer. And that's why it's a killer. You have to make sure you have those cluster of gens so that you keep that safe. Pretty much, even if you don't have a 3 gen per se, keeping one side of the map with a bunch of generators, like say 4 of them, that are on that side is crucial for most maps. So
That's
you
why.
need to actually look around.
Yeah, that's why I said spirit upgrades. That's why I said to Kirk about that video initially because I was surprised, and I'm going to ask to watch that video again at some point if you send me it or something. But
Hmm.
because I was surprised when you said you knew Tinker had gone off next to the shack, but you decided to leave that because for me that's where the strongest 3 gens normally spawn in that game. I didn't actually look and see when you were playing the game, so for me I think sometimes you've got to think like that and go, actually, I need to keep that. I'm losing the pressure here, but I need to keep that that
Side of the
generator.
map, yeah.
I need to keep that side because if things go really bad, I'll be able to at least protect some gens at this side. But and I get what you're saying. I'm talking
Mm.
as someone who plays Freddy a lot rather than Blight. So you've obviously, and I think with Freddy you also have that fallback of the teleport. So your 3 gen isn't quite as strong as it would be with say a Trapper or a Hag. Um,
Hmm.
But
so
with that teleport of Freddy's, it actually does help greatly make him
His
strong.
yeah,
teleport
yeah,
is his
yeah,
best power.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
pretty much.
Mm.
Especially adding Pop
Yeah,
with Tinkerer
like
on it.
that's why I'm not really concerned with the pallets and the snare nerf because like most of the game I don't even need them. Like all I need is his teleport. They take that away, I'll quit playing Freddy.
At least maybe make
I
it
will.
that every time like he uses his teleport, and if you cancel it, it regresses completely instead of just a little bit.
I think that's what
But
someone
make it that
Hmm.
suggested.
then
Someone
all
suggested
the generators.
Yeah,
Hmm.
someone suggested that you shouldn't be allowed to fake the teleport. Once you do it,
I think it was
you
that Temos, the Legion main. Temos, I can't pronounce his name.
yeah.
I think I heard it from his video.
Oh
But
yeah,
Why
apparently
shouldn't I
Tat. It
be
was
able to
Tat.
mind
Yeah,
game the why
it was
hmm.
Tat. Hmm.
why shouldn't I be able to mind game it?
Yeah, yeah. It was
Mind game
just
what?
it was just a suggestion he made because I think the point was that, and I know you obviously upset about the changes to Freddy. I said straight away I don't think it's going to make much difference because his power is a teleport for me, and the way the perks synergize. So
Yeah.
like you said, pop goes away. So, having pop and teleport,
Yeah.
it just magnifies it
The
pop by 1,000%. Um,
Hmm.
the the thing is,
The timer
it is
nerf on
going to
it.
be a nerf to it. No, what I'm trying to say, it is going to be a nerf to his teleport because the more survivors that are asleep, the faster his
yeah,
teleport charges.
yeah,
Now, if you're getting 30 seconds of immunity for each survivor, and even if you hit them, they don't go to sleep. It's just like, okay, okay,
yeah,
there.
yeah,
It still goes
That's a
though.
nerf to the that's a nerf to the teleport within itself.
yeah.
At
Um,
least it makes the clocks actually useful.
yeah,
Because
true,
you just
true.
waking up, you just get hit again. It's just like kind of pointless. Like you went through half the side of the map for nothing.
Yeah, I think I think we'll find out on Tuesday. I think it comes out on Tuesday, does it? So hopefully all will be answered then. And see, because as I say, I don't think you get a
Like,
true reflection of the PTB of how changes have, but you'll get to play it on Tuesday, Darth, and hopefully you'll be able to let us know how that goes. But I don't. I think you'll be
I'll
surprised. You'll be
definitely.
surprised. Mm.
Well, I don't really. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that it's going like pallets. Let's be real, they're shit. I mean, they really are. I mean, I made a video using the pallets, and I only got value out of it one match out of 3 games. Like the first game, I nobody literally tripped a single pallet. There was no point to it.
Yeah.
The second match, I kind of want to make a funny joke about it, but I don't know. It's YouTube. I'll save that.
Yeah, wouldn't.
Anyway, let's just say I'll compare it to something else that only has a one-time use,
Yeah.
and that can't be said on YouTube. Basically, I have it. I have it, but don't need it. You get the rest of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, guys. I am conscious of the time. It's gone
Yeah,
over
sorry,
again.
man.
I'm getting really bad at the timings of this podcast, but thank you very much again for coming on, guys. So Kirk, Spirit Upgrade, and TDS Darth Wage. So I'm sure next week what we're going to do, guys, because I know people have asked about this, we will do the competitive tier list next week. So we will
Ooh.
do that for the people that have been asking and wanting to find out what we think about the tier list from a competitive point of view. If you missed last week's show, check it out. That's got the tier list for casual play. Next week we'll do the competitive one. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you to the guys on chat, and we will speak at some point this week, I'm sure.